Okay, Sacred Fashion Team, this short video is for you guys. Obviously, as we talked about, this is going to be a very simple tutorial. There's a lot that goes into the back end of WooCommerce and the programming WordPress as a whole, that you're going to be able to kind of wing it and learn some stuff. You can actually go out on Google and search for, how to use WordPress, and there's a lot of things a lot of resources that are out there available to you. If you spend your own time there figuring that kind of stuff out, it's pretty intuitive. You can kind of wing it. There's not a whole lot you can do to break it or mess it up, but the bottom line is there's a lot of resources out there. And then again, after reviewing and viewing this video, and if you can't really figure a lot of stuff out, there's some things that we can do and budget time and whatever to do that. Also, we've yet to receive your products. We had talked about adding in your 10 to 15 products. We'd be happy to do that and only charge you for time, but we don't have those. So I'm going to show you kind of how to do that pretty quick, and then I'll drop you an email as well. Another thing real quick for this tutorial is the clarity of this video might not be quite as if you were looking at it in real time, simply because we're trying to scale it down so that you can tell what it is that we're doing and navigating to, but at the same time not creating a huge file that you not going to want to try to download and look at. But anyway, this tutorial should give you about everything you need to know about how to control content on the page, add pages, add posts or news, and add products. And then you'll check my email. Once you've added products, we'll need to connect that up to PayPal or AuthorizeNet or whatever it is you're choosing as your third-party payment gateway, and that's something that Lauren here on staff can coordinate with you guys as well. So let's get right to it. This is the front page of your website. The reason that some money is showing up here in the cart is I've gone in and pretended that I was going to buy a product real quick. We were just testing. So for me, this is showing up as some pricing here in the cart as if I was getting ready to buy something. For you, if you go to the front page of your site, you're going to see zero, because obviously nothing's been purchased or even played like it was going to be purchased. But anyway, this is your website. And the back end of it, the way that you're going to go to it is you're going to go up to your address bar and you're going to type in www.sacredfashion.com/WP-admin. And once you do that, you're going to get a prompt for a username and password. We will have provided you with that username and password. I'll look here real quick. I think we've already added. Let's go ahead and create one real quick. And this is, by the way, show you how to go in and create one, but this will be your username and password. You'll be able to come back and change if you wish. I'm just going to be saying add a new, and this is going to be, we'll call this Sacred Login. So we'll just create that as a username. The email, I'll go grab Anna's email. So I'll set up the email address of record on this particular login to be Anna's email. You guys can change this as you like, and I'll just type in Anna Gordon, and don't have to worry about any of the rest of it. We're just going to create a username and password, and I'm going to make it relatively complicated. Tell you what I'll do. I'll make it basically same as your email address here, so that you'll be able to know what it is. agordon22783 is what I'm going to make it. I just wanted to copy paste it there, make sure it showed up right. And all I'm going to do is add an exclamation point behind it. So your username is your email address with an exclamation point behind it. It says it's very weak. You can tell passwords really need to be tough, so if you want to go in and change this after the fact, you can. I'm going to go ahead and send that to you, so you should get an email, Anna, shortly with that username and password. But you can see now I've already created another login. But once you log in with that username and password, you're going to come up to this dashboard page. And I just want to go ahead and mention really quick here, if you ever come in and you see that there are updates here or plugin updates like you see that there are here, do not ever apply any updates to this theme or to the plugins because these things are sometimes going to not play very well with other portions of the theme or updates. If there's security updates that need to be addressed, we'll look at those over time. However, just don't apply any updates as a general rule. If you have any questions, you can always call or email us. Again, tech support is something that we have to charge for. Email support, we do not. So if you ever have any questions about plugins, updates, you can ask. But as a general rule, don't apply any of the updates that you see either here or here, because you can technically break the website. So what I'm going to do real quick is go back to the front page here, and here's something that I see that seemingly would need to be addressed pretty quick. New collection spring summer 2014. If you wanted to change that, this particular item block, it can be linked to a page that you might want to create. The page is not there, to show off any information about the new collection for spring and summer 2014. But if you did want to change this, the way that you would do that is you would drop down here to where it says Appearance, drop down to the Page Builder, and as I click on that, you'll see that it's going to bring up row blocks. That's what these are, different rows or blocks on the front page of the website. And you'll notice one here is New Collection Spring Summer 2014. If I wanted to edit that, all I'd have to do is come right in here, and I could change the content of this, from this wording to something else. So the bottom line is I can duplicate this block and create another block or whatever, but the bottom line is if I wanted to change that, you just go right here. Let's just say I wanted to announce something for 2015. All I'm going to do is just drop down here all the way to the bottom, and I think it's going to be up here, Save Template. So we're going to save that. And then now when I go back to the front page of the website, and if I hit refresh, that should quickly change to 2015, and it did. I'm thinking you're intending for it to say 2014, so I'm going to go ahead and go back into it. Drop down here to change that back to 2014. Go back up, Save Template, and you can see just how easy it is to change the content on that block. You can also change coloring. You can change the background, image, or whatever, all in that same block. I'm going to hit refresh just to make sure my edit took place, and it did. And you'll always want to do that. Make sure to double check behind your work, make sure that whatever it is you asked to edit took place. But you can change a lot. Now those are things that again, go play in here, and if you see that you don't exactly know how to use it and you want some online training, we'd be happy to provide that. Again, that's at a cost. We basically charge $60 an hour, but you can see here I can change the background size, I can center it, I can change and add imagery, and do pretty much anything that I want to control what shows up in that block. So easy enough to do that. The next thing I'm going to show you really quick is how to go in and add, edit, and delete posts. Posts are news. So if you scroll down here below the products right now, we see it says check out our news and updates. Be informed of our products, more information. Well, you see that there says coming soon. If I click on more information, this also is the infamous or infamous 404 not found page. So, and the reason for that is there's just no news in here. So obviously we're going to want to post some news. Easiest way to do that is just to come here and say add new. And I don't know obviously much about Sacred Fashion and what have you, but I'm just going to show you how to do it, and then I'm going to delete. So I'll just go out here real quick in Google and search for Sacred Fashion. And I just want to try to find some text and things. It'd help if I typed it right. Some text and things that I can just copy paste just for some general information, show you how this works. I'm just going to copy this bit of content here just to save me time, but I'm going to add this as a new post. So I'm going to scroll down here to the content, paste that in, and obviously have no idea what this is about. I'm just assuming a lot here, but for giggles, I'm going to drop down and I'm going to copy this image as well. So I'll go in here and paste that image, and you can tell that image is pretty large. So I might want to click on this little edit button, say I want the image to show up to the left, and I may want it to get smaller here, so I may want to link that image to a website. You can do all those things. If you wanted to link it to a custom URL, take it to that picture on your website where the products are, a lot you can do there, but for right now I'm just going to click on update. And then I still want to resize this bad boy because for me that's just much too large, so I'm just going to drag it. See, it shows me the size that I'm getting it to. What I can do here is I'm just going to title this Sacred Fashion in the News. I mean, this could be anything. This could be a show that you guys just did. It can be a runway, whatever, but I'm just putting it into there just so that right now we can kind of show you how this works. I'm just going to let it go under News and Updates. So I just select this under the category, and I'm just going to hit Publish just for a moment, and then I'll come back to that. Let it cook until it says it's done. Once it's done, we should be able to go back here now, hit refresh. Okay, and now you see that there's a Sacred Fashion in the News underneath here. So now if I hit this, it should bring up. Everything's running a little slow because I'm sitting here working on a recording that's actually filming what I'm doing as we're doing this. Either that or my internet's running very slow. There we go. And you can see now that this image that I put together, a little bit of content here shows up. Now, if I'm not real fond of that, in other words, the image is still too big for me, I can go back here, scroll back down, pick it up again, and make it even smaller. So I'm just going to drag it up a bit more and hit update. Just shows you how easy this program is to use. All right, and then I'm just going to go back and take a look at the work, hit refresh. There it is. And that shows a bit nicer. I still don't like the wrap of this, so I might come back in here one more time and separate my paragraphs a little bit. I might go here. I might separate the word Sacred Fashion. All right, so now I'm going to hit update one more time. Always save your work. You don't have to do it quite as quick as I'm going back and forth here, but this gives you an idea. I'm just going to go ahead and hit refresh. And now you see we've got the image resized a little bit. It looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more clean, what have you. There's a lot of things that can be done in terms of posting other information, but that's how you get news, posts, those kinds of things added to your website. And you can see down here, check out news and our news and updates. This particular link will go to the news and updates portion of your website. Once you're adding in more content, we'll make this more information thing click right over into where it needs to go into the website. But anyway, so that's how to post or news to your website, and the more you do, obviously the better it is for your site. The other thing that I want to show you is how to make posts or anything that you're posting on a website search engine friendly. So all I've done really right now is just added this news item to your website. What I'd like to do now is using the WordPress SEO or search engine optimization plugin, I would like to make this post here something that is going to rank pretty well. So, for example, I may want to use in this particular article, this particular post, the words sustainable clothing. Well, I don't know if that's a good search term or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and using this plugin, I can quickly find out. I'm going to start typing slow, but sustain, it'd help if I typed it right again. Here we go, sustainable clothing. And as I'm typing, Google, this particular plugin, will start showing me, if you notice here, keywords. So in this case, sustainable clothing is a keyword that is good, or it would not show up on this list. So now what I'm going to try to do is make this sustainable clothing content that I've added here search engine friendly. And it's not going to happen with one page, but over time with hundreds and hundreds of pages that you're going to do that way, it will. So what I may do here is now change my title to here, Sacred Fashion Line is or offers, and then sustainable clothing. So this is now part of my title. Now this is not something that you're going to be held accountable for per se. Doesn't have to match up perfectly with everything you're doing, but because we've got a keyword, because it's in the story, because it's now in the title, we're going to have a page that's going to have a little bit more keyword focus to it. So you notice it's in the title, it's in the content. So now I'm going to add it into the meta description. So Sacred Fashion offers sustainable clothing with stunning results for their new spring summer line. And this is not something, I'm not creating the perfect wording here that's going to please you guys, so this is something you're going to want to do as you do this over time. But now you notice the meta description is also showing that I've included the keyword that I'm going after that's in the article, it's in the title, it's in everything. So now if I go ahead and hit update, those rules, those meta things that I've attached to this particular web page shows me that the SEO on this page is now okay. You're always looking for okay to good. If you show up bad here, it's okay if you post some things from time to time that don't have great SEO value, but that's how you're going to use this plugin to help you grow content that's going to be benefiting your site over time. Another thing that you can do is go to Google and type in Google AdWords keyword tool. One of the results you're going to find here is a link to their keyword planner. You have to have a Google account. They're free, but if you sign into it, and I'll just go ahead and sign in under one of the accounts that I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign in as me. And now that I'm in the Google AdWords keyword tool, once it cooks up and comes up here, I'm going to start over just so I can show you. I'm going to say search for new keyword or ad group ideas. What I'm asking Google here is how many people on planet Earth are going to do a search monthly, for example, for this phrase. And not every search term is going to have an amazing wealth number of people that are doing searches, but you can see here sustainable clothing, that category, sustainable clothing brands, sustainable clothes, is 970 times a month. So this is a good keyword that we might want to go ahead and use, which I've done, and it's going to now show up here under the news item, and it's going to show up in your Google sitemap that we've created the back end of this website, such that this search phrase is one that's going to help grow your website. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and leave that on your website right now. It happens to be live, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to click back on post, and I'm going to show you, how easily it is. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to trash this, so I'm going to go ahead and click on trash. If I go back to your website and hit refresh, that piece of news is now going to be gone. Now, I'm going to leave it under trash. If you guys want to come back in after you're looking at this tutorial and see that, you'll see that Sacred News is in here under, and you could restore this if you wanted to. I'm not going to, but you could. But the bottom line is there's that. Now, when we were creating the site, we created a bunch of little test things here. I'm going to go in and delete each of these now permanently. So you can kind of help keep your website semi-clean by doing this very same thing. If you're over time, you're going to be deleting or trashing post after a time. You might want to go in here and just kind of delete a few of them permanently. You can do bulk actions as well. You can go ahead and just select each of the ones that I now want to go ahead and get out. We tested some just to kind of show all the things and bells and whistles that this website can do. So I'm going to go ahead and get all those out of trash now. And here within a second or so, they should all be gone, except for the one that I'm going to leave in trash that you can now see. So this part of the video, you can run back, watch as often as you like. If you want to come back in and search post over time after you've added a bunch, you can come in here and say, okay, I remember typing something about whatever. In this case right now, all you have is coming soon, so we'll just leave it at that. But if you did some show and you've got hundreds of posts in here over time, you can go back and search for that post if you want to. So again, the programming is very good in terms of allowing you to do that. Another thing that you're going to want to do is add, edit, and delete pages. And pages can be pages that are running in the back end of the website. You can see that your website's relatively small. We published 8 pages that we created this website in and created the store and the programming. You're not going to want to go in and mess with too many of these, but you may want to change the About Us page, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and click on About Us, take us to that page, and you can see that this is the content that creates the About Us page. Well, if you wanted to go in and edit the About Us page, you just click on Pages, go to the About Us page, click on Edit. You can already see that it has a green light for its SEO, so it's got good SEO. And this is the visual editor, so things are kind of what you see is what you get. And then this is the text editor. There's a lot of programming language in this view, so you may not want to go with that. But you can see if you wanted to change out this image, you just click here and click X, and that image would be gone. To put a new image in. Let me not delete this one, but let me just show you if I did want to put another image in. I'm just going to go over here and I'll grab this image again one more time. There's a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to bring up a paint program. You'll need to have some kind of a program, whether it's Photoshop or whatever that you're comfortable with. But I'm just going to paste this image just as an example. I'm going to go ahead and resize it so it's not quite so large. So I've now resized that image in my particular program, and I'm going to save it to my desktop just so that I've got it here, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG, and I'm just going to call it Sacred. And I'll call it Test Mic. So I'm going to save it to my desktop. So now I know where it's at. I'm going to come back here, go back into this, and let's just say I wanted to add that right here. So I'm going to click right before the word unlike. I'm going to click on Add Media. This is how you add media, whether it's pictures or videos or whatever. I'm going to click on Upload Files. It's going to ask me to go find that file or drop it to here, but I'm going to click on Select. I'm going to go to my desktop because I know that's where I put it, and then there it is. So I'm double clicking on it. It's going to come up. And once it does, I can even go over here and say I want to make this another keyword that somebody might be searching for. So in terms of keywords, I might want to say sustainable clothing brand, sustainable clothing line, but I'm going to say sustainable clothing brands just to show you kind of how you can do. So sustainable clothing brands. So I've now saved that as alternate text behind this image, which also helps for SEO or search engine optimization. So now I'm going to say alignment. I want it to go to the left, and I want to make it full size, but I don't want it to link anywhere. So under media file, I'm going to say none. Hit insert into the page, and that should now come up. Now again, it's a little too large for my taste, so I'm going to go ahead and drag it to a bit smaller, something that looks a little bit more uniform. I'm going to hit update. This updates, anytime you do your work, you've got to save your work. So I'm going to go ahead and update it. Now I'm going to go back to your About Us page and hit refresh, and we should see that new image show up, which it does. The cool thing about it is it added some keywords in behind the scenes of this web page too by doing that. I'm not going to leave it here. Again, this is for tutorial purposes only. You're certainly welcome to go and do anything you want to with your website. What I'm going to do is click back on this image, click the X, and now hit update. And just that easily, just that quickly, once it finishes updating, which it's now done, I can go back and look at the page again, hit refresh, and now that image is gone. So pretty easy to go in and edit pages, to add pages, and you're going to want to add pages. To add pages, they don't have to all be, quote, viewable pages by the front end user, the visitor to your website. Right now, we're going to be showing people your home page or about us or FAQs, and these are all things that you can edit by just going here. If you wanted to edit the FAQ page, you click on Pages, and if there's a lot of pages over time, you could search, but right now we know it's not many pages, so I can go in here and add, edit, and delete your FAQ page content, which, it says information coming soon, so you're probably going to want to do that. Don't delete this portion. That's the little, if I click over here on FAQs, this header that shows up here at the top, this particular here, this image here, that's what creates that. You're not going to want to get into the programming know-how of going in and adding faders. You may want to over time, and to do that, that's this portion down here is called Revolution Sliders. There's a lot of different sliders that the design guys applied to this website. You can see the home page slider, there's other sub pages that we did or whatever. But if you do want to get into that, that's where you're going to want to do it. You can certainly go and try to play with it and figure it out. You can ask us to do that. Those are things that we can create new headers for you as an extended arm of your design team. Initially, those things are, at a small cost. If it takes us 10 minutes to do something, we're going to charge you $10, that kind of thing. But anyway, you can add, edit, and delete pages. The other pages that you're going to want to add over time are going to be pages that are going to help this website come up, ranking. Those are things we talked about. Your website's very small. There's not a lot to it. You're going to want to create hundreds and hundreds of pages, and the way that you're going to do that is, for example, let's just say eco clothing is eco-friendly clothing is something that 5,290 people search for. Let's just say, for illustrative purposes, your content is your designs are eco-friendly. So I'm just going to go for again, illustrative purposes. This is not something I'm recommending going and plagiarizing websites. But for example, I'm going to go to this website, find something that they say is eco. So I'm just going to go steal this content. Don't recommend doing this because this is against the law, but just to show you, if you wanted to, you could copy every bit of this content. And in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll even go a little further, grab all of it all the way down. And so I've copied it. So, for just to illustrate, you can go in and add a page. So I'm going to click on Add New. And this is going to be a page that's not going to really show up to the general public, but I'm going to paste it all in. So there it all is. And we know that that keyword that we were going for there was eco-friendly clothing. So I'm going to go back in here, title this eco-friendly clothing. I'm going to come down here and say that I want this to be a full width page, which is, your total page. I'm going to come down here, and the keyword I'm going for is eco-friendly clothing, and see, it came up under the little plugin, and it's already in my title, so it's showing up in the page title. It already automatically has done that. And then I'm just typing in Sacred Fashion offers eco-friendly clothing in their spring and summer fashions. Now, if you notice here, I've got 77 more characters I could still type and still keep the title within search engine criteria, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to go up here and click on Publish. Now, to show you how this works is I've created an OK-friendly SEO page. I've created the page. It's called Eco-Friendly Clothing. But if I go to look at the front page of your website, it's nowhere to be found. It's not part of your normal navigation. It's not part of the stuff that shows up on the website. It's not going to show up in any of the latest news. But this is now a page that is out there on your website that is on your sitemap that Google is going to pick up over time that will help your website get ranked. And you need thousands of these kinds of pages. What my recommendation would be to go and create these pages, change some of the content so you're not plagiarizing, change the images, don't take other people's images. You're going to use your own, obviously. But as you do this, if you wanted to see what this page looked like on your website, you can go here to what's called the short link. You know, you're looking at the eco-friendly clothing page. Click on where it says Get Short Link. Copy this URL. Just simply copy it. Open up another browser window, and then just paste that in, and it'll show you that you're now going to go to sacredfashion.com/eco-friendly clothing. And then here's on your website, Sacred Fashion, here's your eco-friendly clothing page with all of the content that we stole in this case. Now obviously, again, I'm not going to let this run, so what I'm going to do here is click back on here, click on Pages, and now I'm going to go down here to the page I just added. Should be able to find it, eco-friendly clothing, and I'm going to trash it. Now, when you come after you've logged in and you're looking at this tutorial, you can log back in here under Pages and look for it under Trash. You'll see Trash. There's 24 trash pages as we're going through and kind of playing with things. I could type in search here. I could type in eco and hit search pages, and it should find me that page. There it is, eco-friendly clothing. So if I wanted to go in here and restore it or look at it, you know, I can do all the above. So just for the tutorial purposes, show you kind of how to use things, you can do that. So that gives you how to post, how to add pages, and now what I'm going to quickly show you is how to go in and add in products. Now products is not something that's going to work right now, but just what I'm going to do is click on products. Remember again, you know, you guys said take the website live without the store. We've put in 4 test products. That's what shows up on the front page of your website right here. These are the 4 what we'll call quick view test products. Now, once somebody goes in here and clicks on the store, let's just go ahead and click on that and we'll show you. Here are right now the 4, you know, you're only going to have 10 to 15 or so. We can make all these smaller as well, but right now, you know, this is your test 1 product here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to control on this particular product. This is the test 1. I'm going to click on edit. And, you know, this is a pretty simple product. Obviously, I don't like the title and stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to, you know, we'll call this blue dress. You know, you're going to want to change that kind of stuff, but you know, you're going to want to give this a search engine friendly term. Again, I don't know the criteria for what type of a dress or what type of fashion, so using the same criteria I showed you under Pages and Posts, you'll want to give some good proper keywords, some descriptions, and you know, titling, etc. But what I'm going to do is drop down in here, and let's just say you've got an SKU number. This refers to a stock keeping type of unit, stock keeping unit. So, you know, let's just say we're going to call this SF0001, you know, for Sacred Fashion 0001, just for illustrative purposes. I'm going to say that the regular price is $9.99. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here and put in the sale price is $7.99. All right. And then I want to give a real description of this. This is a beautiful blue dress that is perfect for any time of day or function that you are attending. Okay, so I've gone in there and typed in just a bit. Now you could get, you know, rather lengthy with this, you know, as lengthy as you would like. And then I'm going to go back up here and click on Update. All right, and then now when we go back and look, I'm going to hit refresh here, and this is going to be the blue dress. And if you notice, if I go ahead and click on it now, I'd like to, it says I can go ahead and add it to the cart if I like. But right now it shows test 1. You know, I can go ahead and look at this particular product. You know, see here it still says test 1. Or I could go ahead and add it to the cart. And now I've got 2 items up here that are added to the cart. There's a lot about this, you know, store and the functionality. You can see here I've got the SKU. I've got the product. This is a beautiful blue dress. It's perfect for any time of day or function that you're attending. We only have 4 of the products in here, so it's showing you some related products. You know, if I wanted to read more about this particular, so it does everything that an Amazon type store is going to do, and all you're wanting to do is go in there and obviously add more, or in the case of, as we discussed, have us add more. So I'm going to click back here. I'm going to go back into the back end. I'm going to go ahead and take this off because there is no such. I don't know what the pricing is, so we're taking all that back out, and I'm just going to say coming soon in here again, and again hit update. And because there's no pricing in here now, once this update is done, make sure that it did. Yes, okay. Now that it's done, I should be able to come back in here, and where it says add to cart now, if I hit refresh, that's going to go away, and it's going to say read more because there's no pricing in here. So again, I can click on here and I can see this particular product, but because there's no pricing and all the information that I took out of it, just shows you how easy it is to go ahead and add, edit, and delete pages, post, and obviously product. There's a lot more to the store, a whole lot of functionality that goes in behind it. When you click on the dashboard, once your store is actually in play, you could scroll down here and see how many products people have bought, sales totals this month, etc. There's a lot of things that are going to be apropos that are outside, again, the scope of what we're providing for you at this price point. But there's a lot that you can learn. It's very simple to go in and learn pretty much about any part of WooCommerce, adding, editing, deleting products, etc., etc. So feel free to use it, toy around with it, and as you need help and figure out that you may need help growing or going forward, certainly give us a call, and again, we can put you on some sort of support plan, training plan to kind of get you there. But this should suffice for now. Go out and have fun with it, and hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. If you're watching this after Christmas, this will be a little dated. Anyway, take care, and I hope this helps.